Hey there, Salina here, and this is a bonus video for my vlog that I posted earlier today about going vegan/vegetarian. If you haven't watched that video, there will be a link up in the cards and down below in the description, so you can check out the vlog if you want to. So yeah, yesterday I talked to my mom about it, and we have decided to go vegetarian and then vegan. And I will tell you guys about the things that helped me come to this decision. This is just a video, informing you guys on our decision. It's not something to pressure you guys into becoming a vegetarian or a vegan. It's just what we've chosen to do. So I thought I would share. There are three main reasons why a person would, or most people choose to go vegetarian or vegan, and it's animals, health, and the environment. In my opinion, these three reasons. And I think for most people, the number one is animals, and then the number two would probably be health, and the number three would be environment. But for me, it is the opposite. My number one is the environment, my number two is health, and number three is animals. Like, animals is just like an added bonus or whatever. And my mom, number one is health. Yesterday I was in the mood to watch a documentary, and anybody that knows me knows that I love information. I love getting new information. So I was in a mood to watch a documentary. So I was on Netflix searching for a documentary, and I remember a video that I had saw on YouTube where somebody mentioned a movie called Cowspiracy, and I came across it on Netflix, and I decided to watch it. And that movie is really eye-opening. If you haven't watched it, you can watch it on Netflix, you can watch it on YouTube also. And in my opinion, it's a really great movie. Even if you don't want to go vegetarian or vegan, I think it tells you a lot about the environment and what's causing global warming and different stuff like that. But pretty much you can, like, a lot of us, we constantly hear things about saving energy and saving water and doing little things around the house to help save energy and save water to help stop global warming and, not driving as much and stuff like that. But really the biggest thing that contributes to global warming is eating meat. Cows need a lot of water to drink, on top of the fact that their food needs a lot of water to grow. And then there is all the water that is needed to turn them into meat for us to eat. And so that's and I don't know if how many people have heard, but in places like California, there are starting to be like water shortages and stuff like that. Deserts are getting bigger all around the world, and a lot of this has to do with meat consumption. And we are led to think that what is causing this is simply like CO2 emissions from cars, when really most of it is actually coming from cows, from the methane that cows produce. If you care I'm not going to say if you care anything, but the biggest thing that you can honestly do to help the environment is by going vegetarian or going vegan. Vegan being the best choice, vegetarian the second best. And we are led to think that the car emissions and using up too much electricity are the things that are the most important to focus on by these big companies who run our country, who run the U.S. most people know about that top 1% that pretty much runs everything in the country, from the president to what we eat. They pretty much run our everyday lives, and you don't even know it. They push food on us that isn't necessarily healthy for us because that's how they get money. And like even now with the election, the presidential candidates will go to these companies, and the companies will ask them, what can you do for me? And whichever presidential candidate can do the most for them is the candidate that they back, and is the president that they give their money to. And that's pretty much how people get elected in this country. And there are currently 2 candidates that don't get money from big companies like these, and that is Donald Trump and Bernie Sanders. But Donald Trump is part of that 1%. He is funding his own campaign, and he thinks a small loan is $1 million. And because he has that mindset, he has absolutely no idea what is going on with the vast majority of people in this country. And because of that, I don't feel like he is a good person. Well, among other things, that's one of the reasons why I don't think that he is a good person to be running this country. Whereas Bernie Sanders is funding his campaign from a lot of little companies, and it's not those big companies that run everything, that are about themselves and are about making money.
Hazard reported ahead.
And don't care about the people. So, and it's these same companies that are pushing unhealthy foods and that are really just trying to make money off of us by feeding us the cheapest things that they can. Nobody wants to be controlled, right? Nobody wants to have somebody else dictate what they do or don't eat, and that's pretty much what's happening. We're told that we need meat for protein, we need milk for calcium, but we don't. And then there's also the fact that I look at it like this. If eating meat is one of the leading factors for global warming, and at some point in time, if we keep going the way we're going, there's going to be drought, there's going to be famine, there's going to be all this other crazy stuff. I have a son, and I would like to leave a livable planet for him. So I need to do what I need to do so that he can survive on this planet, and so that his kids can survive, and so on and so forth. And this is one of the reasons why I have chosen to go vegetarian and then vegan. And yeah, that's my number one reason. So the other reason is health, and this is my mom's number one reason. And I've watched several documentaries on this, and I haven't really looked up any information, which is what I need to do, which will be my next step into doing this. From what I've seen, having a plant-based diet actually helps cure a lot of illnesses and diseases that people have if done right. And people are healthier, and they are better, and they have more energy and things like that from going vegan. And I think that's great. You really have to think about what you're putting into your body, and a lot of the things that we eat are processed, or we all know that stuff isn't good for us, and it's the reason why a lot of us have health problems, but nobody wants to address that issue. We just take medicine to help with those symptoms, but we don't actually ever try to solve the problem on what's getting us sick. So and usually a lot of times it's going to be diet, especially with things like high blood pressure and other things like that. So that's another reason why people do it. That's why my mom is doing it, and it's also a little bit why I'm doing it. There's nothing wrong with wanting to be a little bit healthier, and it's also, you have to make sure that you're doing it right, because people can do it wrong and end up not as healthy as what they were before they went vegan. And the last reason why somebody would go vegan is animals, to save the animals, because the animals are treated absolutely cruel. And as I've seen other people say, they get raped for milk. They are slaughtered. Their living conditions are horrible. I seriously can't remember the point that I was going to make about the animals, but I know that's why a lot of people go vegan. They choose to do this for the animals, but for me, I guess the animals is just a bonus. It's not one of my main focuses. I really recommend that you watch Cowspiracy. It is a really good movie, especially if you're someone like me, where I've watched like the bad stuff that happens to the animals, and I've watched them be slaughtered and all that stuff. It bothers me, but it doesn't bother me enough to become vegan the next. And it's really the one about environment that pushed me to make this change, but everybody is different, of course. But I think I've heard it said before, but if you are the kind of person who can't watch what happens to the animals, then why would you allow that to be done with them? Why would you pay other people, which is what you're pretty much doing? Like, if you can't even stomach it, if you can't even watch it, then why would you pay somebody else to do it? But yeah, that's just something to think about. So what we are going to do is we are going to slowly cut out meat. Well, actually, this upcoming week, because I had presented it to my mom as just an idea.
Exit right.
We are, first I was saying like maybe we just do a day, and then next month we do a week. But she was like, hey, let's do a week of vegetarian this month, especially since she has a wedding next week. So this week we are going to be eating vegetarian foods. And it's just for a week. So after this week, we are going to slowly start cutting out milk. And this is going, not milk, but meat. And this is going to be a very, very slow process, us going vegetarian and then going vegan. Vegan being the main goal. I don't know how long we'll stay vegetarian. My main concern currently is Chunk, my son, because his nutrition is going to be completely different from ours as he is growing up, and that is where I will do my research to make sure that he is getting all the nutrients that he needs, because the last thing that I would want is for him to be deficient in something because we decided to go vegetarian or vegan and we're not doing it the correct way for him. But there is a correct way to do it. So we will slowly be cutting out meat. We already barely eat red meat. Right now all we really eat is chicken. Occasionally we will have fish. So it's just a matter of finding vegetarian recipes and slowly cutting out meat completely. And then we will work to cut out the milk, eggs, and cheese from our diets, but that will be way far down the line, and I don't know how long it's going to take to do this, but I am excited for this. I'm excited to help the environment and to see if my mom's health changes any with this process. And I think it's important to say that, especially with vegetarianism, you can be unhealthy and be a vegetarian, especially since there's a lot of junk that you can still eat, like chips and whatnot. When doing it for health reasons, you have to make sure that what you are eating is healthy. And that is what we will be doing, and I'll be doing plenty of research to make sure that we are getting enough protein, that we are getting enough iron, and all these things from the foods that we eat, because it is possible. So if you haven't watched the vlog that I made, that this video is a bonus video too, check it out. There'll be a link in the cards and in the description. As I have said before, new video every Wednesday and Sunday, and until next time, deuces.